So Ollie just got snipped, and he's on gabapentin, and he's on trazodone for pain and to calm him down, keep him sedate so he's not playing around like a puppy. And I put the trazodone in the peanut butter, and Emma just scooped it right up, scooped it. So now she's
a little food aggressive.
Yeah, so now she's walking around the house like...
Ollie eats everything.
Ollie doesn't eat anything. Emma eats everything.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Ollie likes to eat... He has that, like, pica. He has pica. Do you know what that is?
No.
Pica. It's like where you eat things that are not food.
He doesn't do that.
He eats clothing items.
He chews. He likes to lick on...
He doesn't...
female underwear like a red-blooded boy. I agree. I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal. Welcome to Let Her Shoot, the only podcast that covers women's sports the way that we want them covered. We also give you puppy tales. No bullshit, no kid gloves, respect for the athletes, respect for the fans, all the reasons to stay locked in. We got Sarah Chavnik here, two-time Emmy Award-winning producer. Trista Craig, 0-time Emmy Award-winning or nominated talent, but that part's debatable. But if you like our stuff, please figure out a way to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is just push subscribe, and then you're set. And like us, follow us on Instagram at the Daily W Sports. Follow us on TikTok and on Threads as well. Sarah, what the fuck are we talking about today?
Well, we're doing a special episode. We're doing a special episode today because playoffs are officially set for the WNBA. We have our 8 seeds. We know the order. We know who's in it. We know who they're playing. We know where they're playing. And we know when they're playing. We didn't know any of this until last night. So we're going to bring that to all of the Kashunity here. Tell you who we think, who ESPN thinks, which, by the way, ESPN's picks kind of surprised me a little bit. So
ESPN, come on, let's be honest.
Let's be honest. They're giving the Lynx only a 1% chance of the title.
Is that true?
On their little...
No, that's not true.
Yeah, title chances per ESPN's BPI. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at the Liberty.
Yeah, come on now.
Sorry, that was the wrong stat. That was the wrong stat.
No way.
Sorry, the Lynx title chances are 49%.
Yeah, I remember seeing something else. They have an 89% chance of advancing according to the BPI and a 49.7% chance of winning the title.
So our seeds are set. Top 8 teams advance to the playoffs for those who are, maybe just joining the WNBA playoffs for the first time. Our seeds are number 1, the Lynx. They will play number 8, the Valkyries. Number 2, the Aces will play number 7, the Storm. Number 3, the Dream will play number 6. Number 6 is a surprising seed for them, but the Fever. And Mercury, Liberty, rounding out 4 and 5 seeds. We knew that they were going to fall in this. We didn't know what order they were going to fall in. Now we know the Mercury have home court advantage over the Liberty, which, how much do you think that's going to play into their Liberty's hopes?
Oh, a lot. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the Liberty, I've been saying all season since all of the injuries, the Liberty are really freaking talented. They're still the same team that won the title last year, and they were a buzzsaw in order to get to the championship. And they add Emma Miesemann to this team. Now, the injuries have been something very, very concerning, alarming, something that I think probably puts them in full upset alert. But the second thing that has been really cause for pause, and I don't mean like pause, I mean like actually pausing, is because they just can't win games on the road. They're 5-5 in their last 10 down the stretch, And Sabrina's been dealing with stuff. Jonquel's been dealing with stuff. Brianna Stewart's been dealing with stuff. And so you've got 3 of your stars who haven't been there. Satu's sister, she's been dealing with stuff. So you had Leona Fibic going to Eurobasket. So she was out of the lineup for a month. So they just haven't been cohesing. Is that a word? Cohesing? They haven't been cohesing.
Their momentum, we say this all the time in sports, like you can feel when the momentum swings, and it feels like the momentum swung on the Liberty about halfway through the season, right? Like they seemed like they were on a crash course with the Lynx to meet again in the finals, and that's what we were going to get.
They're the betting favorite for pretty much the full half of the season. They were the ones that everybody said, no, they're going to repeat.
And then it seemed like it kind of started, the dominoes started to fall when Jonquel went down, right? For that, whatever.
They went 9-0.
It was like 4 weeks. Yeah.
They went 9-0 the first couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks of the season. Jonquel got tweaked, right? I think in that Fever game, actually, against Caitlin Clark. That's right around the same time Caitlin Clark had some injury issues. And so, then there's like, okay, well, we just have to wait for Jonquel to come back. And she did, and then they were good again. And then it was, so it's just been one of those things.
And then Stewie's gone, and then
yep.
Sabrina has been dealing.
But the thing that I think is like really interesting about this matchup with Phoenix is, this would be the first time that Phoenix won a playoff series since they fired Sandy Brondello, who is the head coach now of the Liberty. So this is a championship caliber coach in Sandy Brondello with a lot of motivation to beat her former team that let her go because they were, quote unquote, heading in another direction. This Mercury team is pretty stacked, and I think this is a bad matchup for the Liberty regardless, but the thing about the Mercury is that sometimes that they can play down to their competition, and so it could get into a slog. So how much is this Phoenix home crowd going to get involved? What are we going to see from Alyssa Thomas? How is Alyssa navigating and facilitating the offense with Satu and Dewana Bonner? Like, how does that match up with New York? I believe the Phoenix Mercury have already beat New York a couple of times so far this season. So this is just not the greatest matchup. But if New York can get through it, it's a tune-up series. Best of 3 is really, like, the thing that people don't know that are not, like, WNBA fans or they're new. The first round is 3 games.
Right.
2 and 1.
It's
2
best of
games
3.
in Phoenix.
Yeah.
2 games in Phoenix. 1 game in New York. You can go home in, like, 2.2 seconds if you're New York. You better get your shit together fucking fast.
They were 3-1 against New York during the season.
Yeah. I mean, that was just one of those things where I said, put a pin in this. If they see each other, I kind of like Phoenix. And I still kind of do.
It feels like are we downplaying? Because I feel like we're hearing a lot about the Aces, the Dream, and the Lynx, right? Like that's kind of and then we're also hearing like, wow, the Fever have made it. And then like, wow, the Valkyries made it. But I feel like Mercury have really kind of slid under the radar going into this playoff season, even with Alyssa Thomas's really kind of historic for her season that she's been having. And I feel like Satu, Collier Copper, and I feel like it's still somehow ridden below the radar.
Well, and that's the reason for that is the fact that the Mercury have had their own physical challenges as well. Collier Copper was out for some games. You had Alyssa Thomas out for some games. Satu was out for some games. So they hadn't had time to gel either. So both of these teams that are playing against each other before we move on to the next matchup are really like dealing with like, what are we going to get from them? We don't really know because their highs are really high and their lows are stinky as fuck.
Lynx, let's look at the next matchup, Lynx Valkyries, which, I mean, I think we all know which direction that's going to go, right? Like, I don't think anyone's really expecting the Valkyries to go into Phoenix and pull out 2 wins.
Not Phoenix,
however,
Minnesota.
Sorry?
Minnesota.
Where did I say?
Phoenix.
Oh. The Phoenix Lynx.
Yeah, no. I think
team.
the thing that people like I am upset about is that this could have been like a spicy matchup because Valhalla is the toughest place to play in all of the WNBA right now. And then you've got on top of that, Minnesota just never lose at home. That's just like, I want to say Minnesota's home record is, let me look it up really fast. I think they've lost like maybe 2 games at home all year. They're 20-2 at home. So tough. That's why they needed that number 1 seed, is because they're just almost impossible to beat in Minneapolis. But Valhalla is just as formidable. And now Golden State, because nobody believed in them, the WNBA didn't believe in them, Chase Center didn't believe in them. They probably didn't even believe in them, except for maybe Natalie Nakase, who I love. Big Nat. None of those games are going to be at Valhalla. They're going to be played in San Jose. What the fuck? So that is just going to be a total game changer for Golden State, in my opinion, to be able to compete.
But is it not fair to say that, like, have energy will travel? Like, no. I mean, if the fans are locked in, you don't think they'll bring that same energy to any court they're playing on? No,
I don't. I think there's just something around the ease within San Francisco. It's right in the heart of the city. Like, the public transportation's easy to get in and out. Like, the environment of Chase is just a totally different thing. The acoustics, what you're used to. No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I wouldn't want to go all the way out to San Jose to see my team. And maybe they'll travel. Maybe it'll be shocking and surprising to me, but you can say the same thing for the Atlanta Dream in this next matchup because, yeah, they're going to play at home, but they don't play in State Farm either because Dua Lipa is fucking performing for game 1 because the WNBA didn't believe in Atlanta to be anything, and they get their most wins in franchise history at 30, and now they have to play in a stadium with 3,500 people, Sarah.
Can you explain this to me? What does Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa is performing the night of their first game, and so
they have to move. They have to move the game.
Well, Dua
to
Lipa's
a
not
rec
moving.
center.
Yeah, Dua Lipa's not moving.
Do people really listen to Dua Lipa anymore?
What? 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's always calling because he's drunk and alone.
Old song.
2,
it's an old song.
Don't let him in. You'll have to pick him up again. 3.
Did you see that there's like a meme going around of her where people are like photoshopping her into different jerseys?
No.
I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if she like wore a jersey somewhere, but I've seen it now. Like, it's mostly NWSL teams. It's like a meme that's going around, and it's like a bunch of teams are photoshopping her like
interesting
into their jerseys. Anyway.
So yeah, Atlanta, their first 2 games, one of those games, they're not even really in front of their home crowd. So that's a stunning development as the Fever, if the Fever, for example, win, listen, we'll just really quickly talk about the Fever. The level of resiliency, the ability to get Odyssey Sims from nowhere and for her to produce. Every guard that a lot. Every guard that they've gotten has stepped up and made an impact. And every time one goes down, somebody comes in and takes their place in a really impactful way, right? So you've got Odyssey Sims, you got Kelsey Mitchell there, you got Lexi Hull there, you got Natasha Howard there, you got Aaliyah Boston there. That is a squad. They're not particularly deep, right? And I like Atlanta. And
they're about as shallow as it gets.
They're about as shallow as a kiddie pool, right? But in a 3-game series where the first game in Atlanta is in front of 3,500 people, where some Atlanta fans don't particularly want to travel even to their own home stadium, you could fuck around and find out really fast. And Atlanta, I think, has all the tools to be a championship contender, but they really have to get past the fact that first game is not really at the crib.
And if there's any team that can make you feel like you're playing an away game in your own stadium,
it's the Fever.
It's the Fever.
Great point.
I mean, because
Caitlin's going to be there. She's going to be calling timeout for you. You know, she's going to be doing the histrionics. She's going to be, probably dressed up as an Indiana Fever mascot.
The Indiana Fever they're like a cockroach right now. Like, you cannot kill them. You cannot squash them. They're unkillable. You would think, when you just look at the picture, right, of the 5 of them, Sophie, Caitlin, Sid, Ari, who's the 5th? Airy. I do that all the time.
I don't remember the fifth.
I don't remember the fifth either. All sitting there with their crutches, and their boots and all. You're just like, there's no way that a team that has these 5 on the bench right now would be in a playoff. And yet Lexi Hull's out there with 2 black eyes. Odyssey Sims is logo 3s. And you just you're like, what are they putting in the water in Indiana? Because they are completely unkillable.
Unkillable.
They're nuclear cockroaches.
Not a great matchup for Atlanta, to be honest. But what I will say for Atlanta is this. This is a super healthy team for the first time pretty much all year. Brittany Griner has been in a resurgence, in a renaissance, and has given you a lot of production down the stretch. She is a big girl, hard to deal with. Her and Brianna Jones make life hell for everyone, and Indiana's defense inside the paint isn't great on the interior. So I think that's something that I would be relying on if I was Atlanta. I know you want to get by on your 3-point shooting because that's what they do. One of the top 3-point shooting teams in terms of volume in the league, but I wouldn't be doing that if I was you. I don't think you want to get into a 3-point shooting contest with Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims pulling up from Steph Curry range. I think what you want to do is play bully ball. Get up in there, get into their bodies, give the ball to Brittany Griner, give the ball to Brianna Jones, and then spray out to the shooters. They've got a lot of depth. Pow is there. She can shoot the rock. You've got 7, 8 players who can give you meaningful production. Naz Hillman is leading for 6th Woman of the Year.
I was going to say they're really heavy on her for 6th Woman of the Year.
They really are. She probably is going to win it. She's probably going to win it. But so to me, it's all right.
Alicia Gray has been having a
She's going to win Most Improved. You might get Most Improved and 6th Woman of the Year on the same team. And you probably, without the Valkyries being the story that they are, probably Carl Smesko would have won Coach of the Year. That's how surprising this team has been.
Last matchup, we've got Aces versus Storm. Not really what I think. I think had you told me Aces versus Storm a month and a half ago, I would have assumed that the seeds were flipped. I would have assumed that. I would have assumed, wow, the Aces just snuck into the playoffs.
Like a 3-6, a 2-7 situation.
Yeah, I didn't think that we were going to get Aces in the 2, and the Storm in the 7.
16-game winning streak. You were 14-14 when you lose by over 50 points to the Minnesota Lynx, and you never lose again. That's one of the greatest stories of the season. To have that low of a low and just completely turn your season around and become the 2 seed after you were fighting and clawing just to get into the playoffs. And now Napheesa Collier is plus 600 to win MVP despite being a 50, 40, 90 player. 6-1. She was leading in the clubhouse massive odds, and now Asia Wilson is the predominant favorite. Are you serious?
Well, Asia gave that halftime Tim Tebow locker room speech, right? She
Are
gave
you ready for this?
that,
Are we ready?
She gave that if you're not here to win, then get the fuck out of my locker room. And I mean, clearly no one did, but it must have turned.
Could you imagine if someone left? All right, I'll see you later.
Just peace, deuces. And they went on a 16-game run after that. It just seems to me, and I know that you're fee heavy on this MVP.
I don't think you quite really understand the 50, 40, 90 thing.
You have Asia, who lifted her team out of the gutter and sent them on a 16-game run. How
Clearly
is that not the most valuable player?
Clearly it wasn't just her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had to have that halftime speech.
Correct.
Okay? If she was so, if it was just her doing it, then she wouldn't have said, hey, if you're not ready to compete, just leave the team right now and don't come back. No, they're getting production out of Jewel Lloyd finally. Ish. They're getting production out of Jackie Young consistently. It is an ish. Like, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. She's coming off the bench now. Whose decision was it? I don't know. Like, they're playing defense again. I think the trade to get Alyssa Smith was super impactful. That might have been the biggest trade of the season, where Dallas lets her go for absolutely nothing. So, yeah, it's more than just Asia. This is a team that had lost their way. They had lost their identity, and then they found it when they were on the brink. Like, that was as much of being on the brink as you can be.
I need you to explain this for me, because I keep seeing the stats, right, that Fee is the second player after Elena Delle Donne to hit the 50, 40, 90. And I need you to explain this to me. Like, how significant is that number? How hard is it to achieve? What does it mean?
It's just huge, right? Like you said, before this week, only one player in the history of the WNBA has accomplished that goal. By the way, Elena Delle Donne was insane. She shot 43% from three and 97% from the free throw line. That's like, you're basically talking about a robot playing basketball. And now we have two in Napheesa Collier, adding her name to the list, and had to shoot a step back three in the last game of the season to go over that 40% 3-point mark. But the thing that's like super impressive that you have to know about, because there's only been 11 NBA players in history to get into the 50, 40, 90 club. So it's rarefied.
And that's like a 50-year difference in amount of time yeah.
It's rarefied air. It's not just that this hasn't happened in the WNBA because the WNBA is so new. It's just really fucking hard. The WNBA is probably even harder because of the defense that everyone plays. You see, when there is a player who has as high of usage rate as Elena Delle Donne or Napheesa Collier, who her usage rate is top 3 in the league, that's when players swarm you. I want to stop you. Like, the lanes are packed. Players are fighting through screens. The contact is constant. Getting clean looks at the basket is like almost impossible. Remember that like little visual of Paige getting completely bubble wrapped by 3 players? Yeah. That's Napheesa Collier at all time. Like, 3-point shots are contested. Free throws come after absorbing insane amount of contact, especially considering she was dealing with a back injury all year. So for a player to shoot 50% overall from the field in that environment means you're finishing through contact. You're still converting at a rate that you would normally only expect if you were wide open, and it's under pressure, right? You're talking about it's the context that these shots are happening. 3-pointers are high difficulty, long range shots, and she is a center, power forward center, 6 feet tall, shooting 40% at her size and at Elena Delle Donne's size is ridiculous. You're talking about, like, the WNBA has a lot less possessions as well. A missed shot is a much bigger deal when you're not shooting 35 times per game. Defense is key in on that star scorer so much more, especially at the end of games when there's not a lot of depth for you to be spreading the rock to. And so they know, like, it's going to Napheesa down the stretch. So it's not just precision. It's like precision under constant contact pressure and like focus from opposing coaches. Like, this was the most targeted player on the floor every night, and she still wasted not one opportunity and is only the second player to do this in the history of the game. Like, I know that she's plus 600 to win MVP, but like, I think just based on the 50, 40, 90 alone, you have to give the MVP to Napheesa.
And she missed
10 games,
pretty much
games.
all of August, essentially. 3 weeks in August.
Some people will say that's a bad thing, but I would say coming back from an injury, it's a lot harder to be efficient when you're still trying to get back into the flow.
I was going to say that. Like, it's not as if, like, yes, she might not be leading in every category like Asia is right now. Asia also played the whole season. But with Fee, she came back and she just picked up on her production immediately.
Right
there was no downtime for her.
Asia will never be a 50, 40, 90 player. I'll just say that. Because she doesn't shoot threes. That's just not what she'll ever do. She shoots, she's shooting 42% from 3 right now, but she shoots like a half of a 3 a game. So, like, fine. But at volume, you're not getting that. You're just not getting that.
Before we sign off, give me your winner. Just like your bold pick winner
Lynx!
Right now.
Lynx! The Lynx are winning it all. I've said this since last year when they won or when they got screwed against the Liberty. To me, this is the most complete, deep team with the best player on the floor. I love A'ja Wilson. I think she's really good. I think she's probably the best player in the league. But Napheesa in a competitive setting, she's really pissed about how things went down last year. I think she's going to take this to a whole new level, which is why I think she missed games at the end of the season to say, hey, if you guys don't give me the MVP, I'm okay. I'm coming away with the championship ring.
I can't wait to see it. We're going to watch this weekend. We're going to be locked in. We're going to bring you our thoughts on Tuesday's episode, and then we'll be probably back. I think we're going to do the whole season, the whole off season, or the whole postseason. We're going to do these little special episodes where we break down the matchups and each round and how we're changing. I think Trista's kind of locked into her Lynx pick, and I got to say I'm the same. So,
well, it's our favorite team, right? It's Sarah's
our favorite team. No bigger fan.
No bigger Lynx fan than Sarah Chalk.
No bigger Lynx fan.
All right, that's been this episode of Let Her Shoot. Make sure you download, subscribe, and tell your friends about the podcast. For those who found us on Twitter, we're hoping to do more of these deep dives so that you figure out that we actually know what we're talking about in addition to talking shit and making people laugh. And that's a key piece, sounds like. Thank you so much for following us. Thanks for Sarah, who was kind of in a grumpy mood today, and now she stepped it up, really brought her A game. So appreciate Sarah and appreciate y'all. 1, 2, 3, Sarah. Let her shoot.
I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big